Hello again, Edward. I promised I was going to get the Carrera set going here. We have it set up on the table. Michelle can focus it on the table. It's a Carrera. What gauge is this, Michelle? 142nd, I believe.
I think
142nd. This is a sheriff's car, which comes with the set. It's got lights and the flashing lights on the top. And this is Mustang, a 1970, I believe, Mustang. Right here, that comes with it.
Okay.
We had a small little issue because we had a small little car accident, when I call it that. Flew off the track on us and knocked the crown gear out of the way, but we managed to get it running again, so it still runs. Not the full potential, but it still runs pretty good and pretty fast, so I'm pretty impressed about that. So it's pretty much good, but not 100%. These are 1/42nd scale. Like I say, they're pretty detailed. They're pretty nice looking. Not just for kids, but for the slot car hobbyist. These are very nice. 1/42nd scale. There's a board right here. The set box that came with it. It's normally a figure 8 size with a bridge, and it has guardrails. I'm not sure how to set up these guardrails. There's a newer type of guardrail system. I'm gonna have to figure that out. That's something new for me. But the guardrails do set up on here, and it also has. This runs on D batteries, 6D batteries. Four D batteries.
And right there. For 6 volts.
Or you can get the power pack, which I intend on doing. The power pack is a converter which you can plug into your household outlet, and you can run this race set on household outlet also. So they will take DC or converted AC power outlet from your house current to run this. They have several different cars to offer. I'm going to bring the box closer up so you can show. Those are the different cars that they have to offer right now.
Let me zoom in on those.
Yeah. There's some for kids. The top row is more for kids. Those are like cartoon cars. Then the next 2 rows are serious car racing cars. So Carrera is trying to adhere to the adults, the hobbyists, and the kids, which is nice. I never had a Carrera set before. This is the first one I had, and I'm pretty impressed with it. These cars go pretty fast. In a little bit, we're going to start it up, and we're going to show you. These cars fly. Okay, so here
it makes a layout. It says right there on the side. I'm going to read this, what it says for the layout, for those of you who want to know. It's actually zooming on here. Come on, zoom in on it. Come on. I can't zoom in on it. It's too far away. Okay, well, wait. It makes a pretty big layout.
Here's your layout.
So I'm gonna let Ed steer. Okay, I'm gonna show up a close up. It says it can make a layout that's approximately 1.47 by 120 centimeters by 4 foot 82 inches by 3 foot 94 feet. Sorry, 4 foot by 3.94 feet. So in other words, it would just about, as it's built now, it would just about fit on a 4x4. It looks like. And it shows an example there. You can see it's got a crossover, the jumps and everything.
Track. It has a jumping track, which I haven't tried yet. The jumping track, I think, takes some skill. I haven't tried that yet, but I would imagine you're going to have to slow down a car a little bit before you come to the jump track to get back on. So I believe that's going to take some skill to learn that.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm going to let Ed drive the cars. I'm going to let him drive them individually so you can see, first of all, I'm going to hand him both controllers. They're pistol grips, so they're not like, I'm going to try to focus on the cars so you can see them. One of them, which is the blue one, as I said, the crown gear kind of got messed up. And we got it working, but the thing with the gears got broken. Our teeth got broken on the crown gear. So unfortunately, that is not at all common. When this car just basically took off the track like it
is Magnatraction, by the way. You can run these pretty fast, especially if you don't have the guardrails. If you go too fast, they will fly off. But they go at a pretty good pace. If you know where to keep it without the guardrails, it won't fly off. But if you put the pedal to the metal all the way to the bottom, it's going to fly off. But that can't be helped. It's like these are Magnatraction cars, by the way. So now I'm going to run the police Camaro number 14 with the flashing lights for you. I'm going to run this separately. Here we go.
I see
that's
the
the Mustang. Okay, we're going to do the Camaro. I got the Camaro.
But you can see how fast it goes. He's going to go with...
Here we go. I don't want to go too fast because I don't want to fly up the track with this one either. But this is like medium speed. You can go a little faster than that.
If you slow down, you can actually slow down and the lights will keep blinking.
There we go.
Even when you just barely push the trigger, the red and the blue light will keep blinking. So if you slow down enough, they'll see the lights because it's like...
And you still go to a pretty fast speed. That's not even all the way down. It's flying pretty good. I don't want to fly off the track again, but as you can see,
ease up on the throttle a little bit. I want to show them the car, the lights a little bit better. Okay. Unfortunately, guys, I can't. It's going too fast. Just ease it on the gas head.
I did right there. It's slower.
All right, because it's just.
We're at a slower speed now. There's your lights.
A blur. I don't even think that's even realistically road speed in real life. Let me see if I can try to get you better. I can see the lights now. Oh, it is a slack car set.
Again, you can adjust the speed yourself, faster and slower. I got it in the slower right now.
Yeah, you can slow it down even further. Just keep easing up on the gas and then.
Now I got it really. I'm going really slow here.
Okay, you can see it
That's
now.
really slow. I'm calling. Now the other car won't work like that because we got the problem with the crown gear.
Right. Okay.
But now I'm gonna show you the other car.
Okay. That's the other controller.
The other car, which is it's a 1970, I believe, Mustang. That right now, that one car I just showed you was 2000's Camaro. I'm not sure what year exactly. I think it's a 2006 or 7, but I'm not sure. The Mustang's in 1970. So we're gonna go with the Mustang right now. Mustang don't have no lights on it, so we're gonna see. Here we go. Here we go with the Mustang. She's a little sluggish because of the gear problem, but she seems to be still working pretty well. You can go a little faster with her too. There we go. We're going a little faster now. I don't want to come off the track. I can go faster than that, but I'm not going to do it right now. That's the Mustang.
As far as you want to know how it actually fell off the track, guys, because we accidentally put the car on the track backwards. And so it was literally backing up at highway speeds. That's how it fell off the track.
Well, as you can see, both cars are working pretty well, even though I have this issue with the Mustang. I'm going to try to slow the Mustang down, but I think she's going to quit because of the gear. But I'm going to slow it down like I tried to do with the Camaro. Okay, now I'm slowing the Mustang down. I'm going in a slower clip here. And she's still running, surprisingly.
To go really slow, like, takes a lot
of...
it
seems to be still going pretty good. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Yep. He still seems to be going pretty good in a slower clip too, so I'm surprised. But that's what that clunking noise is, this issue. I don't even think, Michelle said the gear got damaged. I don't think the gear's damaged. I think it's just not exactly in the exact pitch lined up with the motor. That's why you're hearing that clunking sound. But both cars seem to work pretty well. I'm pretty happy.
There you go. I got the whole track. You can see it better now. I couldn't get the zoom out for a second. Now I got the zoom out.
Again for you a little bit. Now he still flies around the track pretty good. Still flies. But I don't want to go too fast. I don't have no guardrails on the outside. But all in all, we got a pretty good racetrack here. And they're pretty much, you can do the different layout with the bigger.
Even though I'm shooting at 30 frames per second, it's still blurring my camera a little bit. So All right, enough of that. So let's
Okay,
talk
so
about
here we
this
go.
set. Overall, what's your opinion of this set?
I think it's very nice. The cars are detailed. They're really nice looking. 1/42nd scale. I especially like the Mustang because I'm a retro car fan anyway. I really wish Carrera would come out with more retro style cars like the Mustang. Most of the cars that they have, from what I see in this box, are newer 2000s design cars.
It seems like to me like this is built kind of like a lot of the slut cars of this type, with the crown gear in the back, and even the model motoring had the same thing with the crown gear.
Yeah.
It's just that the motor was an open frame, whereas this is a can motor in there. I know from experience of taking a lot of model motoring cars apart as a kid, and one of the biggest problems is those itty bitty tiny little brushes are like sit in the bottom of the car, and you gotta you should not to lose them. I lost a lot of mine.
These here just use a can motor, so really the only way you're ever going to break is if the motor wears out. You just got to replace it with another can motor, which they're not expensive and they're pretty easy to replace as long as you're good at soldering. So,
Yeah.
From what I see, this is the first Carrera set I've ever had, 1/42nd scale. I like the detailing in the Mustang especially. I wish they would come out with more retro cars, but I'm impressed with it. I think those cars go at a pretty fast clip. Even though the damaged car is damaged a little bit, it still rolls good. So that says to me these cars are pretty tough, that they can put up with a beating. So I like that too.
Yeah.
So I'll give Carrera, I'll give him a 9 on this. But I should give him a 10. Actually, I'll give him a 10 because I roughed the car. That's why it happened, by falling off the track. So I'm still going to give him a 10, I think. What about you, Michelle?
Yeah.
What would you give him, a 10?
I would say, build quality wise, I would say comparing to the ones I've seen in the past, like the Tycos, I'm going to say this is probably a 9. I still think the model motoring was the best one I ever had, because the model motoring, the cars seem to be a little more fun to work on, even though they were so much smaller.
Because these are basically maintenance free. They're designed to be
Pretty
maintenance
much.
free.
They're designed for people that pretty much want a
Yeah.
turnkey system.
But you can still fix them, though. You can still work on them.
Yeah.
It's easier. For example, I think they still make model motoring. I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out. But I think they still make HO model motoring. I'm
Maybe
not
they
sure.
do.
They did up a few years back. Up till a few years back. But
When it comes
those
to, by the way,
cars,
when it comes to model motoring,
those cars they're different scale. That's HO scale we're talking
Right,
about.
that's
so you're
half
talking
the
about
size of these.
Yeah, a whole different scale. They're smaller. So it's a whole different ball.
they might even run on the same track, but the slot is so wide that they might just
Right.
basically just waddle along, kind of
Well,
like when I
it
do when
says,
I'm
this is
walking.
143rd slot car scaling race system. It says it right in the box. So this
Okay.
is 143rd scale. Right here, we're just looking at.
So that's actually closer to Lionel Gage.
Yeah, it's
Little train size.
It's the next size up from HO, and it's kind of like a bigger size, but it's not as big as 1/32nd scale,
Which is bigger.
I don't know what they call in slot car, but that's the next size bigger. Is
That was one that you used to run on your old
Revell
track, yeah.
those are real large. Those are the next size that are.
And then
up
there's
from
also
this.
1/22nd, which are even bigger. But what I liked about the model motoring track, honestly, and some people had a love-hate relationship with it, was I liked the pins and I liked the clips. I felt that was, for me, that was, there was a lot more work to put them in, but the clip is in the pin of model motoring, which was the way I liked to remember. This uses a system that's more like the Eldon track.
Uses brushes on the rear. I'll show you. I'm going to take the car off and show. This uses brushes.
Right.
Brush system. Like
Let me zoom in on that one there.
Yeah. It uses brushes such as the, she's talking about Eldon or the Revell bigger style, the next size up.
Right, those are
1/42nd
brushes.
scale uses brushes. The HO scale still uses
They use skis.
metal ski-like looking
Like skis.
contacts.
Yeah. I mean, they could use brushes, I suppose. let me see if I can find you a piece of the track of what we're talking about. I don't have any motoring. I'll just show you a piece of his track here. This here, as you can see, kind of like the Eldon. Which, for those of you who have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, don't worry about it. It's just another brand of slack car track. It's kind of similar. It's got pins that slips it together. You can see how they stick out, the tabs. And then there's matching slots in the back here that they'll slide into, and on the back here. So, that is the system. A lot of modern toys, or modern hobby applications use these days. They all use a kind of tab, whereas kind of the his train sets, the plastic train sets use the same thing, kind of with tabs, but they don't carry electricity, but they just have the tabs. That'd be a whole nother video to talk about.
Incidentally, I should bring this up. I haven't got into this yet, but on HO scale, they do make combination. I don't know if they make it today, to this day today, but in the retro, older HO scale sets, on the race slot car sets, Mark's company did make a transition track that goes right into the HO train. So your train crosses over the slot car track.
Right.
Those I don't have any yet. I haven't tried them. I'm thinking about trying one of those out and see how it works. That's just another avenue that I'm going to be checking into. That I'm not too familiar with those at all, but I'm going to be checking into those.
Yeah. And of course, we'll see what happens with that. So, is there anything particularly would recommend for parents if they're going to get this for their son or daughter? I mean, that's...
Well, honestly, if for parents, for younger kids especially, I think this is the perfect gauge, because it's in between. It's not too small, it's not too large. The cars are rugged, like we've seen today. One of the cars, the Mustang, took a pretty good fall, and it still runs pretty good. So these cars are rugged. So yes, I would recommend the 143rd slot car racing scale is probably the good one for all ages. If you go up to the next scale, which is larger, you're going to need a lot, like 132nd scale, you're going to need a very, very large spot for those. They're good, but they're bigger than these.
Right.
This gauge takes less space, it's still rugged, and it still runs good. Whereas the 132nd is going to take more space. They're good like these, but they take more space. Kind of like 027 or O gauge trains, or G gauge trains, where they take a lot of space. As far as HO goes, I personally would not recommend HO gauge for kids under 7 years old. Under 10 years old, you're kind of getting, they're not really... They're more for adults, I would say.
Or older teenagers. Or older, I had when I was 7 years old.
Right.
Had them on motoring. Yeah. I didn't do too bad. I'll admit I did lose a lot of pieces.
But I think they're more for the HO scale is more for older kids. We'll say older kids and hobbyists. These can be used for hobbyists and kids. So can't the 132nd scale. I'm not saying the HO can't be used with kids too. If the parents supervise them, they could use those too.
Right.
They just have to be better supervised because they're more delicate, because they're smaller. Yeah.
And also, don't forget too, guys, that these also have a mains power adapter option. So I have to be honest that if you want to know what plugs in,
That's right. This can run on, what did we say, 4D batteries?
Or a mains power.
Or a mains power that you can get.
Adapter. You can see the listing over there of the adapter. The problem, let me just zoom in on that so you can see it on the box here. You can see it mentions there the AC mains adapter. There is a couple of questions about that because obviously you don't want to have batteries in at the same time, because it's the thing is, unless you're using rechargeables, because otherwise it's going to overwhelm the charge the power adapter. So obviously if you're going to use the mains, you just take out the batteries, because it uses 4 D cells, and then you would be all set to go. So that's... Now, I don't know if electrically, if it has a voltage drop, voltage resistor, or something to prevent overloading the power, because they said that the power adapter produces about 14.8 volts, which is ridiculously twice the power of these cars. I would say if you're gonna really, I'm trying to get this cover back on here. This is really hard to get on. There we go. If you're gonna get that adapter, I'm gonna tell you right now. I think those cars are gonna take off like grease lightning.
I think the reason why they make that adapter is because I think that there's cars probably, I don't know for sure, but 1/42nd scale, 1/43rd scale is made by a bunch of companies. So I would say that if you have that adapter, that probably certain cars from other companies you could probably run on that adapter because it takes more power.
More voltage. They might run fine on 6 volts too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something to experiment with. We can look into it and try it out. And right now we're outside because the weather's good, and we just wanted to show you something. And we also did took a video of Ed's his little battery train set. Why don't we go inside Ed and show him that real quick? And I did want pictures, but I figured, why don't you describe them? That way people can see it better.
We're going to be back. We got to leave the video for now. We'll be back with that later. I got to put this stuff away over here. So.
Right, so we'll do that as another segment.
On another segment, yeah.
All right, so you want to wrap it up right now?
Yeah, so anyway, this is the Carrera 1/43rd slot car racing system. The set here is called Carrera Go. It's the police chase set, I believe it's called, Carrera Go. You can buy one brand new.
Can you flip that box over so you can see the other side of the box?
I believe they still make this same set. You can buy it brand new from different hobby shops. All in all, it's a very nice little set. I especially, like I said, like the Mustang detail in the car is very nice. Both cars. They run at a very fast speed. And they still don't come off the tracks. So you really have to push these suckers for them to really come off the tracks. Again, I'm not using the guardrails that come with the set because I'm not too familiar with the guardrail system because it goes together differently than the traditional clip-on one set unit guardrails. So I haven't tried that part yet. But then again, this is a 1/42nd scale Carrera Go slot car set. Runs on 4D batteries, or you can get the converter and you can run off your AC power in the house off that converter. However, do not attempt to use this set with anything less than that converter with these cars, because if you do, you'll burn the motors out on these cars. You have to use the converter in order to run these on household power.
The only thing I can think of is maybe possibly inside this box there may be a voltage regulator. That's the only thing I can think of to bring it down to 6 volts.
Anyway, I wouldn't try running this set unless you have, if you want to run on house power, I'd get one of those converters that they have, transformers, that you can plug into house power to run it and make sure that it's the right one for this set. Which they have rated in the back here. Let me see if I can get some information on this.
Yeah, okay, I did. I'm sure I'll zoom in on that.
It's the Carrera Go 14.8 volt, 10.4 VA transformer.
That's 10.4 watts, basically.
For your plug into your household current. It converts the power so that you can run these sets on that power without doing any damage to any of these cars. Okay.
Great.
And so there's the other side of the box that shows the
let me zoom in on that.
Over and under. It has a jump track which I didn't hook up. That's going to take some skill. I didn't try it yet. I don't want to try it, but that's going to take some skill to use that jump track. And this has an over and under. You set up on a bigger layout. This is just a basic small layout we did, and we don't have the guardrails on here yet either. So we just showed you a basic small setup, but that's when it's fully set up. It has the jump track and the guardrails, and it takes a bigger space for that. So basically that's it for the Carrera Toys slot car set. 1/43rd scale slot car racing system. I definitely would recommend it.
And as you can see, track accessories, let me zoom in on as best I can here. You got different track pieces. You got the crossover. You got chicane. You got double chicane, single chicane. I think they were single chicane. Straight sections. these are accessories available, not necessarily included.
Also in this set, I should mention that they do have the crossover tracks. I just don't have that hooked up right now. And also, I mentioned the jump track. I don't have that hooked up or the guardrails.
Okay.
So basically, I just set up this basic set just to show this. But I do have all that stuff. I just didn't set it up to show it. The guardrails are a separate type of guardrail system, which I'm not familiar with. They hook up to these red spots on the track, each individually. And I haven't really set those up ever. I'm not sure how those are set up. They look like a pretty good system from what I'm seeing. But I'm just not sure how they go together yet.
I'm gonna give them close up with the cars here.
They clip on here separately, and then there's like a strip that goes in between them for the guardrails on that.
Yeah.
So basically, I guess that's about it. Other than, okay, I don't know if I mentioned that these do use brushes on the bottom for the drive.
Yeah, we did mention that.
Train. Yeah. And they have a little pin in the center that grabs the.
Guides
grabs
it.
A guide.
It just
the
guides
car.
it. Doesn't grab the track.
Yeah.
So what happens is make sure when you put the cars in, see now, right now they're going in the right direction. So if we push the trigger, it's going to go forward. But if we accidentally did was we put it on backwards.
There's a little section on here. See the little section on there? That's the Magnatraction.
Oh, okay.
These cars are Magnatraction. So for the most part, I'm going to explain to you really quick about Magnatraction. Magnatraction is now used by almost every manufacturer. Magnatraction helps the car to stay on the track at a faster speed. If you're using old retro style sets, they're still available. The old retro style cars, some people like them because they're more challenging. Those will come off the tracks more often because you got to regulate your speeds more because they don't have Magnatraction, which keeps them glued or going to the track at faster speeds. So yes, they're more challenging in some ways, but they come off the track a lot more often. So that type of system, even though it's been around forever, it's not as good for kids especially because the kids are going to be coming off the track an awful lot with a non-Magnatraction slot car system.
In my experience as a kid with HO, model motoring, and Aurora AFX cars, run them on a floor. Don't run them on a table, okay? Or your cars are gonna go smash.
So I guess that's about it for tonight on this. We showed you the Carrera Go system. You can still pick these up brand new. I think they can pick them up right from Carrera directly or from hobby shops or whatever. But I definitely like this set. It's the first one I've had in Carrera. I've been doing slot cars for years, such as model trains. And I am very impressed with this 1/42nd scale Carrera slot car set. So I guess that's all I got to say for now about it. I definitely would recommend it, yes. I'll give it a 10 myself, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.